In this video, I would like to talk about walkie-talkies for backcountry skiing in Japan. Recently, the Bureau of Telecommunications of Japan has been spreading this kind of posters for foreign skiers in Japan. It says it is illegal to use non-Japanese standard walkie-talkies in Japan. But in reality, recently, many backcountry skiers need walkie-talkies for backcountry skiing. Especially when skiing on slopes with a high risk of avalanche, you have to confirm whether a preceding skier has reached a safety spot or not by using communication over walkie-talkies. And some groups simply shout loudly, but it's smarter to use walkie-talkies in such situation. However, as you know, there is a problem if you ski in foreign countries, or rather, if you bring foreign walkie-talkies to Japan. For example, American Family Radio Service FRS walkie-talkies do not comply with the Japanese law. Nowadays, you can bring smartphones to foreign countries for when you travel abroad, and you can legally make phone calls, browse internet by using roaming or purchasing local SIM cards. But walkie-talkies are different. So in order to abide by the Japanese radio law, you have to buy Japanese license-free walkie-talkies in Japan. There are generally two types of license-free walkie-talkies in Japan. One is 422 MHz 10 milliwatt very low power walkie-talkie, and another one is that 350 MHz 5 watt medium power walkie-talkie. I will explain both of them. And this 422 MHz 10 milliwatt walkie-talkie is completely license-free. As soon as you purchase this, you can start using this without applying for any license or application. On the other hand, this 5 watt 350 MHz 5 watt walkie-talkie, you don't have to pass any examination like ham radio license, but in order to start using this, you have to apply for a radio station certificate by filling by filling out an application form in Japanese and paying about $20. And in addition to the registration fee, you have to pay around $2 annually per walkie-talkie. So the amount of payment is not large, but it takes about, the problem is that you have to fill out application form in Japanese, and you have to wait at least 2 or 3 weeks before receiving the certificate. The registration certificate is issued as a paper document, so you will receive it by postal mail from the Bureau of Telecommunications. It's a paper document, not a PDF file. I am Japanese, but filling out such legal forms is a headache. It is full of legal terms. So for foreigners, it may be rather difficult to fill out such application form of radio station certificate. So therefore, if you do not need long-distance radio communication with 5 watts of power, I recommend using 422 MHz 10 milliwatt walkie-talkie. The transmission power is only 10 milliwatt. In contrast, American FRS is 500 milliwatt, which is 50 times higher than Japanese license-free UHF radio. So if you have some knowledge about radio communication, you will think that 10 milliwatt is too weak. However, on an open slopes without any trees, the communication range of a UHF 10 milliwatt walkie-talkie can be around 500 meters. And from the summit or the ridge, the communication distance may be several kilometers. So if you are using walkie-talkies for communication within a line of sight range, this UHF 10 milliwatt walkie-talkie will serve the purpose. But the communication distance will greatly decrease if in dense forest or if there is an obstacle, such as a ridge between two parties. So the choice is difficult. You have to, when you need walkie-talkie in Japanese ski resort or in the backcountry, you need legal Japanese license-free radios. But from now on, I will explain what happens if you transmit with foreign walkie-talkies in Japan. As far as I checked, the frequencies used by American FRS are vacant in Japan. That means I do not think American FRS radios will cause serious interference in Japan. But on the other hand, Australian UHF CB radios are very problematic in Japan, I think. Australian UHF CB radios use 476 MHz, which is a frequency for television broadcasting in Japan. Therefore, it is likely that the Bureau of Telecommunications will receive complaints from residents around ski resort, and if they receive such complaints, they will do direction finding and try to catch the users. Radio monitoring stations of Bureau of Telecommunications are usually located in large cities, usually installed on the top of a building, like a cell phone base stations. And there are not many. I heard that there are not many in rural areas such as around ski resorts. However, the Bureau of Telecommunications have special monitoring cars with hidden antennas. You cannot tell from the outside whether a car is a monitoring car or not, because the space of the sunroof is converted into hidden reception antenna. So from the outside you cannot tell it's a monitoring car. So if you come back from the backcountry to the parking lot or your hotel, don't walk with walkie-talkies attached to the shoulder. Put them deep inside your backpack, and preferably please detach batteries from the walkie-talkies. In Japan, possession of foreign walkie-talkies by itself will not violate the Japanese radio law. Transmission, or even being in a state almost ready for transmission, will violate the radio communication law of Japan. So I recommend you to remove the batteries. Unlike North Korea or China, the Japanese government is less likely to arrest tourists for radio law violations, but theoretically, they can catch and fine them. In this video, I never recommend bringing foreign walkie-talkies to Japan and use them, but please purchase this kind of legal Japanese license-free radios. These are not expensive. This 422 MHz 10 milliwatt walkie-talkies are around $50 US, maybe a little bit expensive than FRS radios, but these are not at all expensive. And this kind of 350 MHz 5-watt walkie-talkies are around $150 to $200 US per unit. So I recommend you to use legal walkie-talkies in Japan. As I said previously, Australian UHF CB walkie-talkies are very risky to use in Japan. Regarding American FRS, as far as I checked, these frequencies are vacant in Japan. But theoretically, Japan is an independent country, and Japanese government has the authority to control the radio spectrum within Japan, except for US forces stationed in Japan. So I have to say that I advise everybody to abide by the Japanese radio law. Thank you for watching. I'm making this kind of backcountry related videos introducing backcountry field of Japan. Please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Thank you.